All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Tuesday, March 4th. You could tell this is not Fausto. Once again, my name is Josh Levitan. Great to see Leda and Ronnie, Mark, Grant, and all of us just here inside our live trading room. Great to have all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, the works. Fausto is actually doing a webinar right now. Bit of a rare 9 a.m. webinar for him, so he needed me to tag in, do the meeting for him this morning. Great to see Sam and Ray as well here inside our live trading room. So with that said, folks, today is Tuesday for Grant and all of us here. What does that mean? What does Tuesday mean for all of us inside our live trading room? Each and every week, each and every Tuesday, it is Traders Talk. Hey, if you are a trial member just joining us here, this is the most important day during your trial because this is the day where we do our live workshop, Traders Talk. It's a Q&A based workshop where we'll have the chance to go over a few different trades and runners, from yesterday into the market open today. And there's a lot to talk about this morning, isn't there? So obviously CPI numbers came out earlier this morning. I'll get the full report up here in just a second. Obviously, you can generally see just a great reaction within Mara here, crypto-related stock, but the whole market ended up popping up pretty nicely. So it looks like core CPI numbers for February, they were greater than estimated, but there's some other headlines with that as well. CPI month over month for February, 0.4% versus 0.4 estimate. It was 0.5 prior. So there's a couple of different headlines with that. It's just to say, what was the reaction after? Ended up having a pretty nice pop. And with that, crypto, Bitcoin in particular, ended up making a huge run. Well, hey, if you don't trade crypto, that's okay. That's all right. But why should that matter to you? It should matter to every one of us. The fact that Bitcoin and, Ethereum, these crypto, they're all running up really well as we speak. Well, if they run better than the market, that means that we could potentially try and find some crypto, Bitcoin mining affiliated stocks. And obviously from yesterday, we were following Mara. So once again, Mara ended up making a big pop today. We were talking about this all before the CPI numbers came out inside our live trading room. Let me bring up level 4 while I'm at it here, and I'll show you kind of what we were talking about, myself and Chris and a couple of others here inside our room. So early in the morning, it was like my first call out at first. Ended up seeing a big iceberg order. It was at 725 for about 30,000 shares. Well, they ended up pulling their order, moving it down to 710. And, hey, although it held under 710 here going into 8 o'clock in the morning, well, we ended up seeing good buying interest at that point. That was the beginning of the buying interest. So it ended up breaking above that price later on, but ultimately after 8:30 when the CPI numbers came out, you ended up seeing Mara shake around the 7 level here. It broke under and over it, a couple of instances there, but it was really off that 710. What happens if we keep seeing more buying off that level, and led to a big run. So, nice push on Mara to begin. I would only assume the same to be said on Coinbase, right? Coinbase up over 11.5% right now. These stocks don't make a great move in the afternoons, meaning from like 2:30 p.m. onward. But, we love them, especially in the morning. So, Mara, we're going to put on our list. We're going to put Coinbase on our list. Probably Riot, another one up big, and there's going to be more. There's going to be more, folks. But listen, we don't need to trade every singular one of them. Too many is going to get you overwhelmed. It's going to keep you juggling too many in the air at the same time, and you're not going to be able to capitalize on many, if any. So Hut is another one that ended up making a nice little push earlier. Hive, that was from yesterday, but this one clearly is not moving as much or showing as much activity. BTBT, kind of. If anything, maybe I'll slip the Hut trade on our list. That one does look pretty nice. So we'll have four of these crypto stocks on there. Mara, Riot, Coinbase, and Hut. And it's not just the crypto stocks. Obviously, from yesterday, we had a lot of fun trading the bank stocks. We ended up trading PACW yesterday on the way down as a short, beginning from pre-market in the morning and then all the way basically until, just like Cyberclock shows, right around that 10:15, 10:30 reversal time, ended up leading to a pretty good squeeze. But unfortunately, and this is where just, hey, I tell it how it is, folks. No need to lie. We barely took part on these squeezes up because they got halted over and over and over and over to the point where we weren't able to jump in on these as they were flying on up. Later on, it ended up simmering down and ended up building support, thankfully, for a few of us to jump in on that. I know Chris killed it on this trade, one of our platinum students. He was a swing trade, but ended up getting in from the afternoon, I believe, and it was a really good trade from that point, right? Ran back up towards 1050 or so forth into the close. And then obviously this morning, this was even before the CPI numbers came out, but going into the 8 o'clock move, I mean, like off of 12, just whoop, all the way up about a point and a half higher. Then after 8 o'clock, ended up leading to the higher high. So really good trade so far. And not just, again, on this one. There's a few of these that have made a very similar move. FCR. I knew it, my dyslexia. That's on me. FRC, there we go. Not just you, Grant. That's me messing that up too. FRC here ended up leading to a nice pop. Very similar move this morning, as did the PACW. Pushed up towards 54 and above and pulled back. So I'll put this on our list again too. FRC. Make sure I get that right. KeyBank. This actually is making a bit of a different move compared to those two beforehand, but actually breaking a new high as we speak. So pretty good trade right now for the market open. KeyBank. Again, there's going to be more. We'll find them coming up in a moment. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head there. WAL, as I look at my pre-market watch list that I put out at 7:50 in the morning. This one also ended up making a pretty good move from yesterday. Again, let me just go back to yesterday on this because, again, I'm not just going to say we took a trade when we didn't. This thing ended up bouncing, and we were looking for the bounce, but you don't want to catch a falling knife as it was getting halted over and over on the way down. So it ended up getting halted on the way up, and then ever since, it just kept getting halted, going up and up and up and up. Basically, most of these 1-minute candles are spaced out every 5 minutes. So it's saying that it made it very difficult for you to jump in from there. But there was opportunity later on, like on the PACW, the WAL, similar move. Pretty nice trend right now going into the open. So this one, lastly, I'll slip on our list, just, kind of talking about the stocks from yesterday. So we're already at 8. How about that, folks? We are already at 8 stocks going into the market open on our watch list. I ran through a lot already, mind you, so it's not like I just put everything under the sun on our list, but we don't want to put too much more on there now. Let's just go from top to bottom and see if there's anything looking really good. This AIMD trade. You tell me, does this look good? Doesn't look that great, right? I mean, if it hasn't moved since 7 o'clock, come on. You're watching the grass grow here for the last 2 hours. So, I'm more reluctant with putting this on our list. It's up big for a reason. I'm sure some sort of news came out. And on top of that, it has a really good spread, really good order book. I appreciate that more than like anything. So I'm going to put this on our side list for right now, and I'll come back to it at the tail end. It's kind of odd to say that about like the top percent gainer, and it's not like a buyout as far as I know. Let me actually double check while I'm at it. If it's a buyout, then we'll definitely move away from it. All right, how about this? AIMD has signed a memorandum of understanding with another company, Murderreef Biopharmaceutical, to jointly explore and develop a strategic business relationship. So sounds not like a buyout as much, but potential merger. Either way, I mean, I know that's a bit of a headline, but that sounds like a rumor, if anything. You don't know exactly what it entails. So it still could be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal. It's funny. Literally, as I talk right now, Benzinga just pumped out a new headline. I'll post it in like the chats here. Literally just came out. I'm looking at my Benzinga screen here and just popped up as I talk right now. This just came across my board. It's the same thing that I basically just read, but popped up at 9:09:29 seconds. All right. So not fully convinced of this making a great move after the open. I feel like we already have our hands full in a good way with the other stocks, the bank stocks, the crypto stocks. What else we got? Zion's another banking stock, a little spotty compared to the others. So, in terms of picking and choosing, I'm sure I'll make a similar move, but there's better trades. KeyBank, better trade for right now, I believe. More active. I believe the order book will fill in a lot more when the market opens. This MNTV, this kind of looks like a buyout to me, if anything, right? This is like kind of normally what a buyout looks like, even flatter than the other one. Oh yeah, Bitfarms, BITF is another Bitcoin type of stock. I'm not really too particular about it just yet. Yeah, Silvergate SI, could make a little move, and we are familiar with it. So, in particular, I will put this one on our list as well. But, if it ends up making more of a weaker pop once it breaks over a big level, like you could see it just like still kind of holding or floating around 270, 271. If it makes a break over that price when the market opens, you should be expecting a pretty big move. So, if you don't get that big move, then I would move on to another trade then. There's other stocks to follow. So that's kind of my thought on this one trade in particular. All right, so let me just double check here across the gainer side. I think Schwab also, SCHW, ended up making a great move after 8 o'clock. We didn't put it on our main list, but, if the order book fills in on it, then it could be tradable. But for right now, hold off. All right, so for right now, let's hop over to the loser side. I may just end up slipping AIMD on the main list at the end of it all here, but what else we got first? Yeah, GitLab, GTLB ended up getting a huge drop off from the market close yesterday, from basically 45 all the way down to, what is this, like 28, $25 or so? Yeah, 27.50 roughly, you could see there. So that's a huge haircut. I mean, it's definitely down enough still at this point to look for a potential dead cat bounce, see a little short covering. When I say that to you, though, just realize like that's just a very loose thought. Hey, it is shortable. It is easy to borrow still on my platform. And if it fails to make that squeeze, much like SI, I just said, if it makes a break over and it's very lackluster, I would immediately think about, getting out or setting a break-even stop, or, think about shorting it the other way at that point. Obviously, right now, looking at the trend, it is down off the highs. It's kind of holding under resistance, seemingly around $30.40 roughly. So, it needs to break over a level first for that to even be a thought. But yeah, for right now, we'll just put this on our list here, see if it ends up making any good move up or down. You got the Mara trade still running right now. A couple of big iceberg orders popping up on the bid for about 65,000 shares a pop. I'll show that to you in a moment before we finish. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Market's up big. Wouldn't expect much to be down big here, name-wise. Yeah, might look lazy, but I pretty much can tell there's not much else looking great as a short. Nothing down big enough, nothing trading enough volume or easy to borrow or name brand. We're good. I think that we're pretty much set here, folks. Michael asking about Uber, pardon me. Up over 7%. So from the gainer side, right? It just really flat for the open right now. So for a $33 stock, we've seen it move better. But hey, if it's on your side list, I'm certain that you're going to look to try and follow it, or others as well. But there's definitely better plays bang for your buck wise, I'd say. And that's okay to say on a morning like this, folks. That is a-okay, because hey, we already have a pretty big list to begin with. So, like I always say, for Chris and Michael or Grant or Lee or anyone else, start and stick with this list. I would suggest, for doing this as long as we've been doing this year, not just in terms of years, but literally, we've been scanning the market for the last 15 minutes. This is what we got. Let's start with this list here, folks. No need to dip outside just yet, unless if there's anything coming up that makes an extraordinary pop that you catch, and you know what I mean when I say that, unless it makes something really to write home about, I would start with this list and see what else we can grab, right? Because otherwise, you're going to miss out on a 39-cent trade like Warren just got inside our live trading room. Attaboy, Warren. Very nice. What was your entry on that trade, Warren? If you don't mind sharing that, but really nice grab. For pre-market, 39 cents. Let me bring up level 4 again, like I'd said. So here are the iceberg orders that are showing up right now on the bid for about 62,000 shares, 68,000 shares a pop, 750, 745. Some good stacking. You'd hope to see that squeeze the stock up even higher. But, let's just be careful. We are getting closer to the market open. So that was a pretty wise exit from Warren, I believe, either way, especially when you're up that much. I'm going to assume Warren got in on that trade probably over like 715 or 720-ish, because he got 39 cents. So assuming he got out like kind of around here, my assumption is he got in probably once it broke out higher here at this point. Big iceberg showing up now on the ask. Just a little while ago, popped up actually about 10 minutes ago, 904 for about 61,000 shares at 780. All right, so folks, we'll see where these stocks could take us, but one more time, what day is today, folks? Today's Tuesday, and what do we got today? One more time for Mark and Lawrence and Grant. What do we got today inside our live trading room? We got Traders Talk, our weekly workshop every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'll be on the mic all throughout the morning myself, one-man show today. But with that in mind, I'm going to stop at 10:30. I'll be back on at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll begin our Traders Talk workshop inside our live trading room. So for Lawrence, Sam, Grant, and all of us there, you folks know, certainly feel free to shoot me a quick email, josh@c2trading.com. If there's any trades or questions that you want me to go over as a group. But otherwise, for any of us on YouTube or our social streams right now, just make sure that you go right down to the link on the green banner below, just right there to get yourself set up or started. And with saying that, though, you as well, hey, if there's any questions that you have for us for Traders Talk and you're joining us this morning, feel free to shoot me a quick email as well. I'll post it right there at the end of the stream like I always do. All right, for all of us there live, though, either way, I'll be back on social later on today at 2:30 Eastern just to wrap things up for us going into the market close.